So there's this version of me that would have already had like 500 different job applications turned in, have a plan B, have a plan C even, and I'm not doing that. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Jasmine Valencia, feminine integration alchemist, and I don't believe that women need to be fixed. I believe that we need to become every single unhinged version of ourselves and create a life that actually feels worth living. Welcome to day 3 of my 30 days to reclamation journey. Okay, so there's this version of me, this survival mode version, who makes a plan, makes a backup plan, makes 500 other plans of all the different ways that things could go, and tries to make sure I have some sense of control over what is happening in my life. And throughout my life, I've found that literally nothing ever goes according to my plan. Like, never, ever, ever have I ever had anything go according to my plan. And I started realizing that when, like, it wasn't with all, like, so many things happened before this, but when I got pregnant with my twins, I was like, oh, my plans don't matter. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But even since then, because they were getting ready to turn 10, even since then, I have learned this lesson so many times. And this is probably the first time that I'm really, well, not the first time, but like I'm really embodying it this time of like letting go and allowing what is supposed to happen. Because I have spent so much time in my life trying to manage every single little thing and not allow like things to just work out the way that they're going to work out. And one thing I will say about this is I'm not talking about just leaving everything to chance and not like following the desires of your heart, because in my space it's all about desire. Like, desire runs everything. So saying that you don't get to have what you want is not what at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you get to have the things that you want and you get to be surprised with how they come to you. So I thought, my path to making 6 figures and everything was the job that I had. And I did do that. I started making 6 figures with that job, and then the job disappeared, right? So now I'm getting to see like, where is this going to come from, and accepting that it doesn't necessarily have to come from me, but I can work in tandem with my husband and my partner, like, and actually see like what could happen for us if I'm not the one trying to control everything, right? Because being the one who's trying to manage and control everything has never done anything good for me, ever. It has exhausted the absolute fuck out of me, like exhausted me to my very, like, to my soul. It has exhausted me. And I operated from that place for so long that it felt just natural to me. And I really thought, like, oh, I'm still allowing things to come to me. Like I've allowed a lot to come to me. The house we live in, my husband himself, like my children, everything. Like, I've allowed these things to just come into my life instead of me like forcing them in. And at the same time, in so many ways, I was still just trying so hard to control so many things. And I feel like my final lesson in this, which I know it's never final, right? We're always learning and growing and everything throughout life. Like, I will learn more in a deeper way on this topic. But I really feel like this was like the boss level of losing my job, like, which is funny because it had to do with my boss. But like, it was the thing that seemed very sure in my life. And I have learned the lesson of like, nothing's ever for sure. Nothing is ever, permanent or guaranteed in this life. But that felt very secure. And so I leaned way into it, way further than I needed to. And I got off track of like the path that I know that I was meant to be on. And so I was presented with this opportunity. And most people might think that this is not an opportunity, like it's a disaster, right? Like, I have 6 children, so there's 8 of us here. My mother-in-law also lives here, so that's 9 of us in the household, and I was providing financially for everybody. So disaster, correct? Like, disaster, having 1 week notice where we didn't have like savings and stuff. We're not like, it was not like that. We're still trying to get ourselves into a better place financially. And so we're living still month to month with our bills. So losing a job with 1 week notice is like, no bueno. Like, it's bad. It's bad. we'll just be honest. Like, I can say that it's not great. It's bad. And at the same time, like I said in my video yesterday, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, because it has forced me to really look at, like, what do I want to do? What am I meant to do? What do I desire to do? And how am I going to move from this place of like total devastation? Am I going to go into depression like I would have in the past? Am I going to frantically try and figure the situation out? Am I going to be resentful of other people because they didn't already have jobs? Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to be in this moment? And instead, I decided to practice what I preach, which I think is the best way. I think if you are, and this is a side note, tangent, but if you are working with a coach who you're not seeing the evidence of them living out what they're teaching you, don't work with them. Like, don't. I always promise my clients, like, anything I teach you, I do. Anything that I am giving you as homework, I'm gonna do. Anything that I'm putting out there on the internet, I am going to be living, because I don't believe that I can teach anyone anything if I'm not putting it into practice. It just would not be like valid information to be giving people. It doesn't matter if I've read a book. It doesn't matter if I listen to a podcast. It doesn't matter what knowledge I might have. If I cannot put it into practice in my own life, like, I don't need to be sharing it, right? And so I decided, with wanting to build this business I have, with like wanting to help women wake up and see, like, I can have the life that I desire. I can live the life of my dreams. Like, I can own my desires and like actually talk about them, actually like give a fuck about my desires and move from that place. I was like, I need to do that too, which I have been for a long time, but this is like in a very dramatic way. I feel like I'm being tested in, am I going to live up to what I'm teaching people? And that is why I'm sharing this journey with you guys, because I feel it's so, so important. And I want to, make it known, like, I am not the most comfortable showing up online, especially when I don't have makeup on and everything. And I was like, this series, I'm just going to do like very real in my closet, because that's a lot of times where I go when I'm hiding from my children to have a peace and quiet for a moment to get something done. So I'm like, I'm just going to show up in here. I don't need to get ready for this. I did take a shower today because that was in desperate need, but like, this is just me. So I'm going to share me with you guys. So this is maybe something I need to talk about on a live, because it is a very long video, I feel, that I want of information to share. But this whole job loss thing came with a huge identity shift, because I decided, like, I need to follow this path that I want to pursue. I need to be home with my children. I do not need to be going out and getting a job. I do not need to have hours where I'm clocking in and clocking out and answering to somebody, because that just like sucks my soul out of my body. And I really needed to just rely on my husband to get a job and cheer and be that support to him, which is so crazy, because I've been going through this whole like feminine, my husband jokes, he's like, oh, you little feminist, and everything, because I've been really going through like when it comes to roles that men and women play, and like the way that we treat each other and respect and all these things. And I'm like, women are very capable. Like, we are very capable. We can do a lot. We can hold a lot. And like, we don't have to, right? We can, and we do, but we don't have to hold everything ourselves all the time. And that's what I was doing for so long. I was holding everything together. I was, still primary parent with the children, still working solely, still doing, most of the cleaning and everything. Like, it was still me. I was doing all of it. And I was like, you know what? And it wasn't out of like resentment or spite or anything like that. I just told my husband, I was like, I need you to be the one to fix this situation. And I know that you can. Like, I know that you can absolutely 1,000,000% do this and you're going to be great at it. But first of all, I need some rest time. Like, I just need to rest. And I feel like I went into hibernation for like 2 weeks after I lost my job. I was sleeping so much because I was always, trying to stay up with the kids, do all the things with the family and stuff, and then getting up hours before anyone else because I had to get up for work and for meetings and things. And I was just running myself ragged. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I choose not to do this anymore. And so, yeah, the circumstances are not fucking great. Like, they're not. I'm just going to I can be brutally honest on here. I don't want to act like I'm anything else than what I actually am. The circumstances are not great. Like, I legitimately had almost a panic attack at the grocery store the other day because we were like scrounging, trying to make sure that we could buy the groceries that we needed. And that's not a good feeling. It's a really shitty feeling to go through that, especially when like it was like 3 weeks before. I was like, we just spent $800 at Costco, and thank God we did, because we've been, riding that food for a long time now. But like, we were used to just buy what we need, don't worry about it. And now it's like, okay, buy the absolute necessities and nothing else, and pray to God that we have enough money to cover it. And it's been a long time since I had to put anything back when going shopping, like a long time. And that happened, and it did not feel good. I didn't like it. And at the same time, I'm choosing not to move from a survival place because I've done that my whole life. I've literally moved from a survival space my entire life. Every decision that I've made for as long as I can remember, up until the last few years, has been out of pure survival. Like I don't even know, like, I don't know a word that is more like than pure, but like just like deep soul level survival it's not been good most of my life, and that is how I've made my decisions. And so I'm doing this series to show you guys, like, you don't have to move from survival, and everything can work out for you. Like, I am a true believer in that things work out for me, and it's not happening to me. It feels like it's happening to me. It feels like I got fucked over by my boss. Like, it feels bad, right? But ultimately, this is all for my good. And every single bad thing that has happened in my life has always been for my good. Like, I don't see it in the moment. You can't see it in the moment sometimes. It's very difficult to see it in the moment. But when you look back on your life, you can just know, like, wow, if that shitty shit hadn't happened to me, I would not be here. Or if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have these kids. Or if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have learned this lesson. Like, everything is a lesson in some way. And sometimes it's a lesson in, like, you trusted and you moved in the right direction and you being rewarded for that. And sometimes it's a lesson in you need to chill the fuck out and just trust that everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to. And I feel like that is the lesson that I was learning with, like, losing my job, is this is for me. And thank God I have learned that lesson so many times. I was able to see that immediately. Like, I still allowed myself to feel all the feelings that came with it. A lot of people say, if you want to manifest things, don't feel the negative emotions. Don't allow yourself to go into any place of negativity or fear or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we're humans. We're meant to feel the full spectrum of emotion. I am very powerful at manifesting, and that comes with feeling all of the emotions. Like, you have to let yourself, that's what we're here for. We're here to experience all these different emotions. Like, if we weren't, we wouldn't have them. That's what I think. So anyway, I am here sharing my journey with you guys because I am still in the process of learning to be the woman that trusts that everything works out for her, instead of trying to make everything work out by force. And with that, that's day 3 of my reclamation journey. And I will see you guys tomorrow for day 4. Love you. Ciao.